No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm back with an esteemed panel. I had booked an interview with my guy, JReal, right here.
West.
And he brought along somebody else.
Right.
Who, you coined a phrase that I use all the time.
Yeah.
God and Gumby.
God and Gumby.
It's only two things I care about. Only two things I need to get me through life.
God and Gumby.
God and Gumby.
Shout out to Gumby.
Gorilla Hebrew in this bitch too.
Yes, sir.
Saying verse.
Hey, how's it going? So, okay, we became familiar because you had kind of this like crazy moment on the Viral Way podcast when it became clear that you had some stuff to kind of get off your chest and everything. Right. But so we're gonna get into all that. But I mean, let's give them the rundown of like who you are and how you kind of came up.
Definitely, man. JReal, the realest man, the most known unknown South Central artist in history. You know what I'm saying? Many people would claim not to know who I am, but then when I step in the room, everybody in that room definitely knows who I am, you know? I've been doing music about 20 years. I got songs, a discography. I got songs with Cocaine, Nocturnal, Schoolboy Q, AD, feature upon feature, Legendary Baller. We got RZA tributes dedicated to the Woo, you know what I'm saying? It's a long discography of work that I've been putting in. Omar Gooden. I ain't gonna call you Junior, nigga. Don't diss me. That's my guy. He gonna see that. We actually working on some music right now. Man, Pookie F and Rude, you know, just a lot of dudes that I've been working with throughout the years as an independent international artist. Also got tracks in South London, Poland, Iran, South Africa. So we working deeply on that part. Working on films right now, self-published author, also Land of No Pity, a South Central story. I guess we'll get into that a little bit later too.
For sure, but as far as your actual upbringing in LA, what area did you grow up in and what was that like?
Yeah, definitely 51st, 52nd Hoover Street. Originally, I want to say like 96, 97 is when I started representing the H, up until becoming a non-active member, probably around 09, 08, 09.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? When I was just, because I started having kids. Okay. So I became, you know, I'm always, like I said, like I always say, I'm always be associated. I'm always be affiliated. I'm just not active. You know what I'm saying? I'm grown. I'm focused on other shit. I got kids, you know.
For sure.
But shout out Big Bosco. Shout out, you know, all the homies, rest in peace, Blind Twin, Cuda Bear. You know, shout out my 5-1 babies, Traffic, Dice over there, you know what I'm saying, where we used to loop the stick, D-Lore. And the list can go on and on and on, you know what I'm saying? My guy, you know what I'm saying, Big H's for Gorilla Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? So.
When you look back on it, becoming a Hoover member back in the day, was that something that you did because you wanted to fit in? Was it something you did for protection, or was it just kind of the most natural thing because of where you were at?
It was a part of that last part was, you know, natural because of where I was at. I grew up in foster homes and group homes.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up already displaced, moving from different neighborhoods to neighborhoods every 6 months, every 7 months. I've lived in Inglewood, went to Morningside. I went to Fauché, I went to Crenshaw. I've been, you know, I've been to school in San Bernardino, all these different places. But initially, it all started when, in about 96, 97, I was dealing with some abuse from staff members in a boys' home.
Really? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so I would run away. You know what I'm saying? You know, you get caught up by the truancy officers, police, or whatever, they bring you back. Run away, come back type of thing. So initially, I had a foster brother named Lawrence. His mother lived in 7-4 Hoover Hood. This is where I would go. I would go to his grandmother would like let us in, you know, and all that type of stuff.
And just real quick, what happened with your parents that landed you in the foster home system?
That's it. So now we're getting into the book because that's about autobiography. But my mother abandoned me when I was 3 months. I was a doorstep baby. I was left at rest in peace, Miss Barbara. You know what I'm saying? Bless her soul. But my father was an alcoholic. He was, I'm not going to say that he ain't shit, you know what I'm saying, because he attempted to do what he could with this situation. But he also waited until he was 40 to have me. So in this situation, there was a lot of things going on. As I hear it, prior to my biological mother passing away, it was more like a keep a brother baby type of situation. He was getting married to another woman. She thought getting pregnant was going to keep him. He was like, let's get up out of here with that weird shit. So she had 2 other kids. She was on the run from the feds at the time. She had gotten into some shit with her ex-husband.
The feds for what?
I don't know. That information was never really disclosed to me because it was kind of like, that's something I don't want to relive when I did talk to her about it. But I know it involved drugs. I know it involved some type of robbery. I'm not sure if it was bank or something like that, but she definitely was on the run from the feds. And I guess she felt like if Pops ain't gonna pull his weight, it's easier for me to just drop the baby off. So like I said, Miss Barbara, shout out to Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara was that elderly woman in the neighborhood who kind of looked out for all the kids.
Really?
You know, she was like the foster home before the foster home. You feel me? So the story goes, my mother would bring me over there. And one day she would bring me by often because Miss Barbara would have things, food boxes, diapers, stuff to help the women out in the neighborhood.
Sure.
And she brought me over there. She told me that she'll be back in about 2 or 3 months because when she get over these cases, do everything she got to do. She never came back. So that's how that led and began with me living in that type of life. Weird story is that on the same block, on the same neighborhood, my biological grandmother was Miss Barbara's best friend.
Oh.
So they used to watch like the Stories Guide and Light, all my children, all that type of shit together. And then grandma looking at me, they looking at baby pictures of Pops. So they called Pops. Pops slide over like, yeah, he already knew. He like, yeah, that's me, but I'm not. Take him back where you go, type of shit. So my biological grandmother made the decision to say, no, this is blood. Let me take him. But due to disruptive and dysfunctional behavior through the years at her elderly position, she wasn't able to deal with me, So it would suggest other family members didn't want to take me because of whose son I was.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But did you ever reconnect with your mom as the years went by?
I paid $278 to one of those. I don't know if y'all remember in like the early 2000s, they had those find people websites.
Really?
You can find people's address and do. I paid $270 in like 2010, 2011 to find her because I had at the time I had children.
Yeah.
And I felt like that like they need to have a grandmother. They had their mother's mother in their life. Where's my mother? You know what I'm saying? So I found her, I reached out and I let her know that, look, check this out. It's not bygones gonna be bygones because I got deep-seated issues because of your abandonment. But that's something I gotta work out in therapy and X, Y, and Z. But there's no reason that you can't be here for these grandkids. They don't, because I didn't know you doesn't mean they don't have to know you. So I'm not finna be spiteful and keep them out of your life because you wasn't in mine. So I gave her that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, tell me your story. Give me the rundown. What happened? How was it? I know Pops is like this and things is like that.
Because you getting some closure about what was going on with your mom.
I ain't have a straight relationship.
If you're in therapy, you know that this is all about getting to the root of all this shit, and understanding that could help you get past all that stuff.
I keep calling these bitches, and why I got all these trust issues with women? Why I can't stay in a relationship for a elongated amount of time? Why do I practice self-sabotage in any relationship I have with a woman? These are all due to the separation anxiety and separation issues that I have with my mother. Of course, I'm not gonna think you're gonna always have my back. My mama didn't even always have my back. So I'm gonna always be looking at you. Grandma put me in the foster system. Aunties didn't like me. Didn't want me to spend the night over their house. So every encounter with a woman, even when I got older, I lived with my sister, she put me out to go stay with a dude. She like, you want to run the streets? I'm like 17, you know what I'm saying? She like, oh, you want to be in and out? I'm moving we was in the Dino. She like, I'm moving to Pomona. I don't know what you gonna do. Now I had a 385Z. I slept in the Z for about 2 years. And I start to use women to get what, you know what I'm saying? Girls who like me. I need to eat. I need clothes. I need this and that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the mind frame of entrepreneurship or economic development to where, okay, just go get a job. Go to labor ready. Go to day ready jobs and just work and grind and stack and save. I'm like, nah, I'm finna use these women. You know what I'm saying? Everything on the bitch. The bigger the bitch, the bigger the bag. You know what I'm saying? So, and even though I'm saying all of this and people gonna be like, oh, he hates women, all this. No, I'm saying this because this is what was necessary for me to speak on in therapy. This was what was necessary for me to have an understanding about what my issue is. You know what I'm saying? So I can because I have a daughter. So I got to clear this bullshit up with women so I can be able to be the type of man that my daughter's gonna need. You know what I'm saying? So all of that came ahead with that. And she passed away. You know, I sat at the foot of her deathbed.
But was she not receptive when you talked to her about forming a relationship with your daughters and everything?
Who, my mother?
Yeah, was she not really hearing it?
She was with it. She was 100% with it. She cried. We cried. I told her I forgive her. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
Because at the end of the day, you know, she went and got sanctified, saved, Holy Ghost, all that. She was driving up for MTA. Now I'm dating myself.
Well,
MTA, RTD, all that.
All
you know
that,
what I'm saying? And she had got her life together. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, if you're gonna be there, if you're gonna start calling, you're gonna start coming. Here's the address. Here's the number. You're gonna be vivid and instrumental in their life. Come on, and we got about a good 10 years.
Yeah,
about her before she passed away. So my kids got to experience that. Even though with me and her, it was still a lot of unclosed doors. You know what I'm saying? It was still a lot of locked doors between me and her because I'm 20-some years struggling with this shit. You feel me?
No, for sure.
Now I got wife, you know, daughter. At the time I was married, but, you know, I got wife, daughter, and all this other shit, and shit ain't working out. And it's like, why? What's wrong? What's the issue? You know what I'm saying? I can't lead a family if I can't lead myself out of my own problems.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
There's a reason why podcasters can turn any topic into an episode. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys and more than 100 offices nationwide. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, your case could be worth millions. But the truth is, a lot of people either don't file at all or get taken advantage of by insurance companies. When you hire Morgan & Morgan, it's like hiring a legal army that has your back. If you're injured because of someone else's negligence, you deserve to be paid. No shortcuts, no lowball offers. In fact, they've secured some major verdicts in the past. For example, in Florida, they got a victim who was in a life-altering car crash, $12 million, 34 times the highest insurance offer. They got another victim in Philadelphia, $26 million, 40 times the highest insurance offer. Not all law firms are created equal. Morgan & Morgan is the biggest for a reason. They will fight for the biggest award possible, and they have won a lot in the past. So if you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. That's right, no upfront costs. They only get paid if you get paid. You could start your claim now by clicking the link in the description, www.forthepeople.com/nojumper, or by scanning the QR code on the screen from your phone's camera. Thank you very much to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this episode.